Truth talk, you do not need a ginormous email list and thousands and thousands and thousands of subscribers in order to sell out your group coaching program or to fill your membership with those best fit clients that you're thrilled to have inside. Whether you're selling a mastermind, a membership, or a cohort-based group coaching program, you can use launch email sequences to communicate the value of your coaching and to help your best fit client make their decision to say yes to themselves and join your program. In this video, I'm going to talk to you specifically about what makes a launch email sequence, how it's different to some other forms of selling, and how launch emails can be a great way to fill your group coaching program. So let's dive in. What makes a launch email sequence a launch email sequence? A launch email sequence is a series of emails sent to the humans on your list over a set period of time. So usually there's some form of limited time nature to it. It has a start date and an end date, and that period between those two dates is your launch period. It can also be referred to the enrollment period, the enrollment open, the cart open period. All of these terms all refer to that same launch period. So let's quickly touch on how your launch emails are different from your regular emails that you send to the people on your list. So you might, on a weekly basis or monthly basis or somewhere whenever you feel like it basis, send broadcasts or emails to the humans on your list, and those emails may or may not include a call to action to get in touch and book a discovery call, or to go to the sales page and join the offer. Sometimes those emails might be directing to a podcast episode or a webinar that's coming up or whatever that is. So all of those emails are different from a launch email because a launch email is always directing, always has a call to action to take that next step. It's inviting your reader to make a decision on the offer that you're presenting them with. Okay, now that we've talked about what a launch email sequence is, let's talk about some other forms of marketing that you might be using at the moment in order to sell spots within your group coaching offer. First up, we've got social media, things like Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, all of that gloriousness that is the world of social media. And social media can be really great for visibility. These are free platforms that people can come across you and easily click that follow button, and there you are in their world. And while social media can be a really wonderful way to get people familiar with you and to feel a connection to you and build that relationship, the downside of it is that it's harder and harder to get in front of those people for your content to be seen by your best fit clients. And when someone is engaging with you in social media, it's usually in a very different way than when they're in their inbox. There's more intentionality and more presence when they're going through their inbox and reading an email than they're going to be experiencing when they're scrolling through something like Instagram. Which means if you want your best fit clients to know they have an opportunity to sign up for your group program during that specific launch period, you are going to have a much greater chance of them knowing about your offer, knowing about that launch when it is landing in their inbox rather than simply posting on IG and hoping it ends up in front of their eyes. Now, this isn't to say you shouldn't use social media to sell your group coaching program, but more so that relying solely on social media is probably going to make it harder for you to achieve the results you want to achieve in your launch periods. Okay, another really common way to fill the spots in your coaching offer is with consults and offering those free calls where someone can book that time with you and have that face-to-face interaction to talk about where they're at, what they're struggling with, what they want help with, and then you get the opportunity to show them how your coaching offer can help them bridge that gap. Now, consults can be a great way to fill your coaching program because number one, you get to personally vet everyone who comes in and make sure they're a great fit and you're going to enjoy working with them. They're most likely to benefit from your style of coaching and the results that you support your people to create. And consults are also wonderful because they supercharge that one-to-one connection, which is what helps someone feel that sense of trust and safety in taking the next step and deciding to join your group coaching offer. But the downside of consults and relying solely on them to fill your group coaching offer is that they can be really time consuming and honestly sometimes quite energy draining, especially when the people who are booking them and showing up aren't those best fit clients that you're really excited to serve and welcome into your group coaching offer. Similar to what I shared about social media, I don't think you need to get rid of consults and only choose launch email sequences in order to sell your group coaching, but you will find greater results and more success when you do have that launch email sequence in place, even if the call to action is to get on a consult rather than to click over to the sales page and hit the join now button and go to the checkout, right? It's up to you what you decide that call to action to be in your launch sequence emails. But when you're solely relying on something like social media and consults to fill your program, you're going to have totally different results than having a launch email sequence where you're getting into people's inboxes. They have that chance to be present with the email that they're reading and decide, yes, I do want to sign up for this. Righto, let's dive into how specifically a launch email sequence can be a great way to sell out your group coaching program. I'm going to share with you 4 ideas. Number 1, a launch email sequence gives your best fit clients a defined period of time to help them make their decision. And this is a wonderful thing because our human brains just love to procrastinate. It loves to procrastinate on doing things, and part of doing things includes making decisions. So by having that finite period and that actual point in time where they will either not be able to join, or a bonus will go away, or something about the offer will change, that can be really helpful for someone to get off the fence and to make their decision that they've been putting off. Okay, the second way that a launch email sequence can be mighty powerful for selling out your group coaching program is by building know, like, and trust in you, a real life human. Now, this sense of trust and connection and know and like is amplified by a psychological bias in our human brains known as the propinquity effect, which is also known as the proximity effect. The propinquity effect is when someone experiences a stronger sense of connection and trust because of greater proximity and familiarity and frequency of being around that person. So basically, because you're showing up more often in someone's inbox during that launch period, it's going to build that know, like, and trust, which is so important to help someone feel that safety to make that decision. But of course, for this to work and to not backfire, it is key that you sound like you instead of some random bot or like a wanker who's just there to spam someone's inbox. I want to assure you that just because you're emailing frequently during a launch period does not make you spammy. You are not a spammy human. Those emails, you want your launch emails to be crafted to help someone make their decision. Which brings me to my third point. A launch email sequence gives you the opportunity to share key pieces of information about your coaching offer again and again. And while you might hear that and think, that sounds repetitive and spammy, this isn't just about blasting the people on your list with the same words again and again. It's about relaying those pieces of information with new stories, new perspectives, new points that you want to make, but making sure that those key messages are there. So how long the offer goes for, what results they're going to get, what benefit they're going to experience in their life. Those are the key pieces of information I'm talking about. And relaying them multiple times is a wonderful thing because you've probably heard of that pseudoscience fact that our human brains need to read or see something 16 times before we pay attention to it. And I call that pseudoscience because I feel like that statistic has been changed and you hear it used differently. But the fact that is underlying this pseudoscience fact is that our human brains do need to see something more than once for us to actually retain it and make sense of it and integrate it into something meaningful to take action on. So that's why 1 or 2 emails is probably not going to be enough to create a successful launch. And in fact, emailing multiple times throughout that launch period is what gives people what they need to realize that you have an offer, realize that there is a decision to be made on their behalf, and for you to help them think about making that decision in a really clear, intentional way. Which brings me to point number 4 about how a launch email sequence is a great way to sell out your group coaching program. And that is because launch emails, when done well, gives your best fit clients what they need to feel safe, confident, and excited to decide on your coaching offer. Every time you send an email, you get another opportunity to present a new perspective, which means your reader, your best fit client, gets another opportunity to think or believe or understand or see something different about you, your offer, or themselves that actually helps them make their decision. And this is such a beautiful thing that's so deeply of service, and it's why I love launch emails so much, because while you can have this offer and know in your heart of hearts that it's so valuable and perfect for your best fit client, and know in your heart of hearts that there are people out there reading or knowing about its existence, but still not deciding. When you get to present these different perspectives, you are helping do the hard work that otherwise their brain has to do of sifting through all this information and realizing this and realizing that in order to arrive at that point where they feel safe and confident and excited to make a decision. So when you can do a lot of that heavy lifting, and by heavy lifting, I mean like that quality thinking of helping them think through and evaluate that decision for them in your launch emails, that is such a deeply service-fueled action you can take. And at this point, if your brain is thinking, that sounds like a lot of complicated work, don't stress. I have the exact program that walks you through how to create those kind of emails, ones that sound human and compelling and serve up what your best fit clients need to read in order to feel that safety and confidence and excitement to make their decision. And that program is called Email Brilliance. You'll find the link in the video description below. Okay, there you have it. These are just some of the ways that a launch email sequence can be a great way to fill your group coaching program. To keep learning more about how you can use launch emails to sell coaching in your business, head to the next video that's popping up on your screen right now.